Hi, this is Ann from Design Bundles, and today I'm going to show you how to make a torn paper heart in Adobe Illustrator. All right, let's get started. All right, first we'll start a new document. So I'll come over here to Create New. I'm going to come up here to the top to Print, and then I'll just choose Letter right here, and we'll create. So the first thing we'll do is create the heart. I'll hit L on my keyboard to get to the ellipse tool, which is right over here. And then I'm going to click and drag while holding Shift. Shift will constrain our proportions so it'll be a perfect circle. I'll hit D on my keyboard to give it a white fill and a black outline. And then I'll hit V to get back to my selection tool. I'm going to start dragging and then I'll hold Shift and Option. That is Shift and Alt on a PC. And Shift will keep it along the same plane. Option or Alt will make a duplicate. We'll release right about here. And now I'm going to Option and drag this circle once again. We'll put it right down here. I'm going to select the top two and we'll group those with Command G or Control G on a PC. Then I'll select everything. I'll come up here to my control panel to Horizontal Align Center. Click that. If you don't see this bar up here, you can just go to Window and Control right here. Okay, so we've got our three circles and these two are aligned with this one. So let's select them all and we'll come down here to the Pathfinder and choose the first shape mode, which is Unite. Now, if you don't have Pathfinder open or any of these other windows, you can find all those in Window. So we'll go to Window and you can see Pathfinder right here. Okay, so we've got just one piece after choosing Unite. And you can kind of see a rough heart shape there, but now we need to get rid of some of this part and just make it look a little nicer. So let's hit P and then the minus button. That'll bring us to the Delete Anchor Point tool, which is right up here. I'm going to click on this point to get rid of it and then also click on this point. And now I'm going to hit A. That'll get me to my Direct Selection tool. And I'm just going to click on this point and then grab this lower handle and just make it a little more rounded so we have a nice heart shape right here. And I think I'll also move this handle in down here so we get more of a point at the bottom of our heart. So now we have half of a heart, and I don't really think it makes sense to do all that again. We can just copy this half and reflect it over. So I'm going to use my A tool, Direct Selection tool, and I'll draw a box around these points. So I'll get this point and this point, but these will be unselected. I'm going to Command X or Control X on a PC. I'm just going to hit the delete button to delete the rest of that. And then I'll Command F or Control F on a PC, and that is paste in front. Okay, now I want to reflect this. So I'm going to hit O on my keyboard, and that'll bring me to the Reflect tool. You can see there's an anchor point out here, and we want the anchor point to be right here so it reflects from this point. So to do that, you can hold Alt or Option and then just click right here. That'll bring up your Reflect dialog box, and we'll do a vertical reflect and we'll make a copy. Okay, and this is looking really nice. Now, these two pieces are separate right now, and we need them to be joined. So I'm going to select both pieces, and then I'm going to hit Command J or Control J for join. That'll join two of the points together, so we need to do it again to get the other 2 points to join. Command J or Control J on a PC. Okay, and now we have our heart. Okay, and it's kind of rounded here on the bottom, so I'm going to hit Shift C. Shift C will bring us up here to the Anchor Point tool. It'll be underneath your Pen tool. And what this does, it converts a smooth anchor point to a corner point. So I'm just going to click on this point and it'll change it to a corner point. Okay, so our heart is made, and I'm just going to move that off to the side of the screen. Now we'll make a rectangle with our Rectangle tool. So I'll hit M on my keyboard, which will bring me to my Rectangle tool right over here. Going to click and drag and make it pretty big. Now I'm going to make a copy of this. So Command C or Control C on a PC, and then I'll paste behind with Command B or Control B on a PC. And that copy, I want it to be kind of a dark red. So I'll come over here to my color palette and just click a dark red, maybe not that dark. You can see what color it's going to be right over here. And of course we can't see it on our screen because it's perfectly behind the white copy. Let's click on the white copy, and in my appearance palette I've got a black stroke and a white fill, and I'm going to change my fill to black. So I'm going to come up here and choose this black. Now when I do that, it actually isn't true black, so I'll double click here and I'm just going to make the RGB zeros. We'll say OK. Now let's go to Effect, Artistic, and Film Grain. We want our grain to be at 20, 0, and 10, like it is here. We'll say OK. And now we're going to change the fill to 20% multiply. And this looks really nice. If we zoom in, we can see we have kind of a nice little texture on our rectangle. And we can see the red showing through from underneath. This kind of gives us that papery look. Now I'm going to copy and paste in front. That's Command F or Control F on a PC. And then we'll come over here to the appearance and click on the flyout and choose Clear Appearance. So now we have no fill and no stroke. Okay, so let's click on the fill and just make this any color that makes it easy to see. Let's get our pencil tool by hitting N on our keyboard. You can see it right over here also. And then I'm just going to draw a rough, jagged line with my mouse across this. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. In fact, we want it to look really rough. Now, if yours is really smooth, you can change that by double-clicking on your pencil and going more towards the accurate side. I'm going to hit V to get back to my selection tool, and then I'll hold Shift and click on the blue. We'll come down here to Pathfinder, and I'm going to divide this, which is right down here. Okay, now we can get our A tool, which is our direct selection tool, and click on the top half and just kind of move it up a little bit. I'll click on the bottom half and move it down. Okay, and then I'll select both by holding Shift, and then I'll copy and paste in front. And we'll do that again. We'll just move this one a little bit up and move this one a little bit down. Now I'll use my group selection tool, which is right underneath the direct selection tool, and I'll choose that inner one. I'll hold Shift and I'll choose the other inner one. And let's change these to white just so we can see what's going on a little better. All right, now we're going to hit Shift W, and that will bring us over here to the width tool, but underneath that is your wrinkle tool. So it's a quick way to at least see where the other tool is. Now I'm going to make my cursor a little bit bigger, and to do that you can hold Shift and Option or Shift and Alt on a PC. I want it pretty big. And then I'm just going to go over these and see how it's really changing them a lot. All right, that looks pretty nice. I'm going to hit A to select the blue, hold Shift and select the other piece, and we'll zoom out a little bit. And then I'll get back on my wrinkle tool and just go over these really quick. Can come back and make them even more jagged. I want the paper look that we have on that background area behind there to also be on the front area. So I'm going to first, with my group selection tool, which is right here, I am going to click on the red area back there. Might have to get close to do this. And I'm going to get my graphic styles out, click on this little square and drag it into my graphic styles. I'm going to Command minus to zoom back out. And then I'm going to use my group selection tool to click on the blue, hold Shift and grab the other blue piece, and then we'll use this graphic style. And that kind of changes it to that papery look that we like. Okay, let's get rid of the outline that the graphic style added. I should have removed that earlier. So we'll just choose none. And then I'm going to copy and paste behind. That's Command B or Control B on a PC. Of course, you'll have to copy first, which is Control C or Command C. We'll have to clear our appearance, so we'll come over here to do that. And then I'm going to make the fill a bright red. Okay, so this is what we want. If we zoom in, we can see we have a grain here and we have a grain here, but the white part does not have a grain on it. Now we want to select the white parts. So with our group selection tool, just click in that white area, And we're going to add a drop shadow to the top one. So we'll go to Effect, Stylize, and Drop Shadow. And I'm going to change this to 45, maybe 5, 5, and maybe 2. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and it's looking like it's cut paper now, which is awesome. So we'll say okay. Now we'll select the underneath one by just clicking on it. And we'll also add a drop shadow to this. So Effect, Stylize, and Drop Shadow. And this time we'll change those 5s to -5s. We'll say okay. And now we've got one coming up from the bottom. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And now I'm just going to take everything right here. There are quite a few layers going on, and I'll just group this with Command G or Control G on a PC. All right, now I'm going to grab my heart. I'm going to pull it on top of the paper look that we made. Right now, it is not on top though. So let's hit Shift Command right bracket. That's Shift Control right bracket on a PC. Now I'm going to make it so it has no fill and no stroke. You can do that right over here with this button. I'll select both pieces. We've got a grouped piece in the back and then the heart shape in front. And then we'll go to Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And that's how to get a torn paper heart look in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.